What is up, everybody? What is going on? So, the good news that we have today is that we have made it. We are on a new channel. It is a new scenario that's going on here. And basically, I'd like to welcome everybody. First of all, welcome to VR365. Yeah, baby. Welcome to VR365. No trailer yet. No VR365 trailer. We'll be working on that very soon. In fact, you guys might notice, hey, this all looks familiar. It's the same OBS setup that we've had all along, and that's because I ran out of time. Literally, before doing this show, I was trying to work on a new OBS background with the VR365 logo and kind of just make it a little bit different, a little bit nicer. And I ran out of time. I just could not get it done. And I just said, F it. I'm scrambling around. I'm trying to do this. I don't have time for this. We've got to do the number one show. And this is episode numero uno. We are here. And I can tell you that the most exciting thing for me, honestly, is getting all of my back catalog of episodes. Not all of them, but the vast majority of them, from episode 70 something all the way to episode 250, and getting all of those episodes onto this channel, doing some thumbnails for the channel, and none of it is finished. It's not finished. So you can go to some of these back catalog, to the archive basically, and watch some of these old episodes, but some of them don't have their timestamps yet. Some of them don't have descriptions, YouTube tags. All of these kinds of things are missing from a lot of these videos. Some of them do have it, and it's just a process. But the good news is the new era hath begun. We are on VR365. This is a brand new deal. We are not broadcasting from the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. And there are going to be people that probably will go to the YouTube channel, the old VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. They'll be like, hey, what's going on? Where's the episode? And so what I plan on doing is, I don't know, I'm kind of torn whether I should even copy these episodes over to VR Game Rankings, the regular YouTube channel, and put them up there for maybe like a couple of days. Or maybe I should just record a special episode, or I mean, not an episode, but just like a quick little video that says, hey guys, guess what? We've moved. Go to VR365. Everything is there. We are now at VR365. That is what this is all about. I think I might do number 2. I think I might do that. And so people will just have to deal with it. They'll have to find it at the new channel. Okay, so let's see what people are talking about. Kev Gret says, the inaugural show is about to begin. Strap in, everyone. Hussein X says, hi, Anthony. Although he misspelled it, Anthomy. What is going on? Phil Yarn, here we go. Simplex PL. Kev Gret, Anthony dressing for the occasion. Not really dressing down. Switch your mic on. Almost had me. T-Dub, you seriously almost had me because I'm super nervous. Do you guys know that I did not check anything about live streaming until probably it was like 40 minutes before this show started? I never even went into the live stream page on my VR365 YouTube channel, and I didn't copy over the encoder information and all of that. And when I first went into that page, it says something about it might take a day for you to get approved to do a live stream. And I'm like, oh shit, man, I might not even be able to do this live stream today. This could be a complete and utter disaster. But luckily, the live stream is working. People can see me. We do have chat. We do have video. We do have mic. We don't have a new OBS setup. I do not have the intro, outro. All of that will be coming soon. A different little OBS kind of a look. But, it's the same show. It really is the same show for all intents and purposes. I just wanted to go to this new channel. Had a problem on the old channel with monetization. It's an incredibly long story. And the truth of the matter is, we're talking about pennies. We're really talking about pennies from heaven. And it's really not that big of a deal. But at a certain point, it would be nice to generate a little bit of money from this thing, and maybe be able to use that money to buy a motherboard, or to buy new RAM, or to buy a VR cover, or, who knows what the hell it could be, or maybe to give gift cards, a Steam gift card or something. So to have a little bit of income coming in. Now, there's no income coming in right now. You have to wait. This is a brand new channel, and so you have to wait, I believe, until you have 1,000 subs, and you need like this much viewing time. So it's going to be a while before all that will happen, but the hope is eventually like super chat will work, and maybe I'll have the occasional video where I'll get like 20 cents from the video. And I just think it's a good thing. I've been doing a lot of these videos. I've never been paid for any of them. I have been paid VR Roundtable. We actually do get a little bit of money from our videos on VR Roundtable, although all the money that we get goes directly into an account that we basically use to buy games that we don't get keys from, or to buy prizes, or to pay for like a website or an email that we're using, or anything like that. So all of the money is used like that. And VR Roundtable actually has gotten money for the entire time that VR Roundtable has existed. I have never gotten anything because of the screw up with my old channel. So that's why we moved over here. Also, a big part of it is the name. I've always wanted a different name. The Daily Vlog Live was not a very good name. I like VR365. And yeah, there will be some echo. I do plan. T-Dub says, please tell me the official intro will have the 365 echo. Yes, it will. It will have an echo to some type of degree. I think. I mean, I don't know. Basically, probably what's really going to happen is there will be multiple versions. Like, we'll probably just have like a really basic, crappy intro to begin with, and then continually improve on that intro over time. Okay, so what is the video that we are looking at here? And it's actually a Gran Turismo Sport update that is coming this November. Now, I don't know how much of this update is going to translate over to the VR mode of the game. I haven't really played this much. I think I only played it basically that first day. I rented Gran Turismo Sport from a Redbox, and played it basically that first day, and I thought it was kind of a dud because basically it was just one car going around a track. They didn't even have time trials at that time, and so it was pretty freaking basic. And Kev Gret says, dude, GT Sport is only $20 now. You could just go ahead and buy it straight up. Yeah, this is the Gran Turismo November update. Not really sure how much of this will translate to VR. The one thing I did like about Gran Turismo Sport is that some of the cars, the interiors are done really well. And I always feel like if you're playing a racing game and you play, you have like an open wheel racer, or basically a convertible for all intents and purposes, the immersion factor is increased significantly when you're in a VR racing game and you're in like a convertible, because you can just look around and you just see everything. If you're inside an actual car with a roof and a cockpit and stuff, I don't know that the immersion is quite there, but that is Gran Turismo Sport. It does have an update. I was looking at news heading into today. There really isn't that much going on, but you know what? We do have one bit of news that is going on. Let's go ahead and bounce over here to the web browser window. And you know what? I just noticed this. I just happened to look over this. I thought this was just another random Lenovo deal for like a refurbished headset, but this says Walmart. So I got to check on this. Is this brand new? Walmart deal brings Lenovo Explorer headset plus controller bundle to $180. So I'm assuming this is actually brand new. So this might be a Black Friday deal. Some of the big box retailers have already published their Black Friday deals, but there are still a few to go leading up to the November 23rd sale. But before Black Friday and Cyber Monday even begin, you can get an awesome deal on a new Windows VR headset, including controllers. Walmart's pre-Black Friday sale has discounted the Lenovo Explorer VR headset controller bundle by $220, bringing the entire bundle to only $180. That is a great deal for brand new. This is not refurbished as far as I can tell. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, no, as far as I can tell, this is not refurbished. So I am reading this story somewhat verbatim directly from Road to VR. So much love to Road to VR. Please don't sue me. Everybody visit Road to VR. They are one of the better websites that we do have for VR. They do update with new stories. This other news story that they have is VR anime Spice and Wolf VR heading to Kickstarter November 25th. So I'm guessing that basically they're just starting a crowdfunding, but that this is going to launch. Yeah, this is launching sometime in November. Not November, but sometime in 2019. So this is coming to Vive, Rift, possibly others in 2019. So they are going to do a Kickstarter for Spice and Wolf. So these are two of the news stories today, but the Walmart deal is mildly interesting. The question is, who of you out there is very, very tempted? Actually, I got a question for you guys. Do you hear this trailer right now, Gran Turismo? Is it very quiet? Is it very loud? Maybe we should finally figure out the volume deal. I'm going to try moving this volume up to where it's barely tapping the negative 40 there on decibels. How's this volume, guys? Of course, we are on about a 6, 7, 8-second delay or so, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. But I'm curious, what do you guys think of this volume now? I have it set. I gotta figure this volume thing out at a certain point in time. T-Dub says I can't hear it. Okay, so hold on, I turned it up a little bit. I just don't want to, like, barely to know. Okay, I want to wait a second here because there is this 8-second delay. Can hear it, but only just. Okay. I don't want to blow people's eardrums out. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this up. Now it is barely hitting like the negative 30. Okay, so Shirzad Khan City says good now. But is this too loud? Okay, so I'm leaving it at negative 30 right now. T-Dub says that's good. But do I have to shout? Okay, now it's quite loud. See, that's the thing. It is really, you really gotta kind of dial this in here. Now I don't have any sound, so I gotta wait for a second. Okay, Simplex PL is on the headphones. Yeah, I don't know why it's so hard to dial in the audio levels. Now it's too loud. And I barely touched it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get it to negative 40 right here. I think it's different for each user. Negative 35 maybe, yeah. Well, I was at negative 35. That's where everybody was saying too loud. So I'm going to try negative 40 for a second. I just feel like I got to figure this out at some point in time, and there's got to be some logical way to do it. There's got to be a smarter way to do it. All right, so anyway, what did I want to get back to? Oh, yeah, we were talking about this Lenovo deal. And the question that I have basically for everybody is, are you tempted? Are you tempted to get this Lenovo headset? Are you tempted on any of these Windows mixed reality headsets? I mean, we're talking $180. They're basically giving it away for cost, probably less than cost. You're getting controllers. It's got, the inside out tracking. You could possibly use this with a laptop. It's got that mode where it operates at 60 hertz, where you could even use it potentially with integrated graphics that would maybe even be on a laptop. You'd probably only be able to do like Cliff House and things like that. So, that's possible. Rudel Zavedno says, it's okay now. Chris Gould says, problem with GT and VR. He's talking about Gran Turismo, I believe. Besides just 2 cards, which is understandable, 0 gameplay. Okay, 2 cars, yeah. 0 gameplay. Okay, Tekasura said, it's not that bad without headphones. Negative 35 sounds good. Tempted? Absolutely not. And Hussein X says, only if I could pick up Lenovo and Asda in UK owned by Walmart for that discounted price. Yeah, see, the other thing about these trailers too is that some of the trailers will have like really low volume, and then they spike their volume, and then they go low, and then they spike it. So that's another problem with the trailers as well. Yeah, I'm mildly tempted. Like I feel like it would behoove me, and don't you love the word behoove? I really like that word behoove. I feel like it would behoove me to have a Windows mixed reality headset just to screw around with it, purely from the standpoint of I've never screwed around with a Windows mixed reality headset. I've never touched a single Windows mixed reality headset. I've never tried Cliff House. I've never tried a lot of these things. But hey, chat. Hey, Anthony. Hey, new channel. That is Tekasura. What is going on, Tekasura? And you know what? Is it Tekasura or somebody else that was going to come on and be a guest for the show? We had a number of people that wanted to be guests, and we were going to try to figure out the Skype thing and try to figure out the guest thing. And what happened with all of that is the transfer to the new channel, the uploading of all the old episodes and all of that, everything has kind of been backlogged a little bit. So I'm still going to work on this guest thing. Jim Hall says, as long as you keep an eye on the decibel level using the audio meters, should be consistent. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it's kind of like, it's just if you start to turn it down a little bit, sometimes you end up going, you end up turning, you know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make the volume, my volume bar really long here, and then maybe that will help me fine tune it a little better. There we go. So I'm going to make my volume bar very long. But yeah, I just wanted to say to those people out there that want to come on as a guest on this show, I have not forgot about you. We are going to get a lot of you guys on. And in fact, I'm going to need some of you guys to help me out with doing the guest thing and figuring out the Skype thing so I can stop having these crazy shows where I can't have a guest. I need to have a situation where if I'm going to have a guest, it's bada boom, bada bing. You know, it's got to be easy. It's got to be simple. It can't be like super complicated. Like, it's got to be relatively easy for the guests coming on, for me, for everything. And, there's a lot of hoops that you got to jump through. And it's unfortunate because OBS, like when people think about OBS and YouTube, they're thinking about streaming gameplay, and they're not really thinking about having a guest come on and doing a Skype call and all of that. So there isn't a lot of effort that's paid towards that. And I don't think Skype, like, it's unfortunate that there isn't just a super easy way to do it. And maybe there is, and I just haven't figured it out. But I have to figure it out because I want to have guests. I want people to come on. I think it'll help the show quite a bit. I even want to maybe interview some developers like Stone Punk Studios. I mean, the Stone Punk guy, I would love to interview him and talk about just the process of building an entire game almost by yourself and just how that all went in. So I would love to interview a lot of people, and then just anybody in chat, not so much on our regular show. I was just about to say daily vlog live, not so much on VR365 episodes, but we could have other shows where, like, meet a VR gamer or whatever, introduction to a VR gamer. I don't know what I'll call it, but we could have another show where I just take one of you guys from chat and I basically pick your brains and I basically talk to you about how you got interested in VR in the first damn place, kind of like your gaming history, and kind of like that. I think that would be kind of cool, especially if I could do that with a lot of people that people know well in chat. If you guys can be brave enough to come on to camera, and I know some of you guys maybe don't want to come on camera, and it's understandable. It's scary coming on camera. I remember the early days, like the very first episode. Let me see, I'm going to change this game trailer. I have now that I'm hearing game trailers in my headphones, I have to keep changing these trailers, otherwise it gets boring. So let me switch up, and I think I need to turn my volume down a little bit because I'm hearing these trailers loud in my head. Okay, we'll turn this volume a little bit down here. But yeah, so let's see. Let's go back to chat and see what people are talking about. Jim Hall, he was talking about the audio level there. Lethal Weasel VR. Stupid me was waiting for the old notification. Yeah. Yeah, it's you know what I'm going to do, guys? So, another thing that I am working on. This is kind of going to be a shit show. It's going to be all over the map. We're going to bounce around all kinds of topics on this particular episode here. But the good news is we're getting it started. We're getting things started. And so, I think in another couple of weeks everything will be kind of situated nicely. I'll be playing VR games again. Somebody in chat said something about transpose. Let me go to the pop-out chat. Where was that? Somebody was saying something about transpose. I thought that was in chat. I might have to go to pop-out chat, though, to like scroll back and find it here. Where was somebody saying something about? Oh, okay, Paradise Decay. Okay, so Paradise Decay says Transpose is out tomorrow. I played it today and it's like Form, but with time mechanics. You can record yourself, do one part of a puzzle, then play it back in order to help complete another puzzle part. Yeah, you know what? I've played Transpose as well. And Paradise, you know what I forgot to do? I don't know when the embargo is up for Transpose. I wasn't sure if the embargo is up now. Can I talk freely about Transpose? Because I could talk about that. But I didn't play Transpose anywhere near as much as I would have loved to play it over this entire weekend. Because for me, the game I was playing was downloading old episodes with 4K video downloader because I deleted them because I was running out of space on my hard drive. It's just a lot of crap, right? And so I'm downloading episodes with 4K video downloader, then uploading episodes and trying to do it in numerical order because of my OCD thing, and then trying to work on thumbnails and all of that. So I actually have played almost no VR over like the last 2 or 3 days because my entire focus was getting all these old shows up, getting these old shows locked in. And then once they're locked in, then that's good. Then now new shows can stack on top of it. And my OCD situation is taken care of. I have new shows in order, so that feels good for me. So all of that is good. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, Paradise, if Paradise can check back in, it seems Paradise maybe has jumped into chat real quick. Okay, so Paradise says, I have no internal organs left to sell to get the Lenovo deal, although he is probably a slightly tempted on it, just so you could know what Windows Mixed Reality is about. Okay, so embargo time is tomorrow. Okay, cool. So I won't go into an in-depth discussion. I don't want to get in trouble. I really like the secret location, guys. What I can tell you, though, is I will be banging away at that game after this show is over. Not sure about Déraciné in terms of how I'm going to get my hands on it, if I'm going to get my hands on it. I'd love to get a code for Déraciné, but one of the problems, and I was talking about this on the Discord channel, the Discord server. Remember, everybody, there is a Discord server. Be sure to bounce over to our Discord server. All you have to do is go into the description and go down to where like the Twitter is and all of that information, the website information, and there is a link to an invite to our Discord server. And so you can join up. There's a lot of people that have been joining up. I've been talking to a lot of people on the Discord server here and there. And you know what's really nice actually about Discord? Let's talk about Discord for a second. Yeah, Shirzad Khan City says, ooh, Paradise is in trouble. But one of the good things about the Discord server thing is that I'm always working on this or that, or I'm waiting for this thing to upload, or I'm waiting for this to render. There's always these little snippets of downtime where I'm waiting for something. And when I'm waiting for something, I can hop onto the Discord server and just see what people are talking about, say, hey, what's up? And then bounce off of there. And so that's kind of what I'll be doing on the Discord server. So I think Discord is a good thing. So Phil Yarn, I'm glad you were yapping about it for so long and we finally got it. It's so funny though, Phil Yarn is the guy that has always been talking about the Discord server, and I've yet to be on Discord live when Phil Yarn was on there live. That hasn't happened yet, even though he was the #1 person that was talking about the Discord server. So the Discord server is there. That is good. Let's see. What did I want to get back to? There was something else I forgot. I keep bouncing to different topics. Bed and Cats says, put me in, please. I think he's talking about being a guest. And so for anybody that does want to be a guest, not necessarily on this show, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start out with interviewing VR gamers, and there'll be special shows. It's going to be like a bonus. It'll be a special show where we interview a VR gamer. And if you want to do that, email me. info@vrgamerankings.com. info@vrgamerankings.com. Shoot me an email, and I'll try to get you some information. You're probably going to have to use Skype, and we're going to have to figure this Skype thing out, but I'm definitely going to start having some guests on as like an interview a VR gamer. And then basically, if that works really well, and if the person is, not too nervous, and if they handle themselves well, then maybe they can come in and be a guest while we're running a regular show. So it'll almost be like a training ground. It's almost like the minor leagues. You start off in the minor leagues and you make it to the major leagues. So yeah, I'm cool with having guests on. So we're going to try to make this thing even more interactive and build our community, and Discord's a great part of that. But I really think it would be cool from a standpoint of being able to meet all these people in chat. Like, for example, Fluke. I don't know if Fluke wants to come on camera, but wouldn't it be cool to have Fluke on camera? I think that would be super cool to like talk to Fluke and say, how long have you been playing video games? What are your history with video games? When did you first discover VR? I think it would be very interesting to do that with a lot of different people that come in to chat. We see these names all the time. We see T-Dub, we see Tekasura, we see Shirzad Khan City, but we really don't know these people very well. And if we did little interview shows, I think that would be pretty sweet. I think that would be pretty cool. It is going to take some effort on your part in terms of like being able to throw your face on blast. Another thing I was considering, and I haven't looked into this, is just having the voice of somebody on. There might be some people that don't want to throw their mug live, but what they could do is they could just give me a picture, and we could just put voice of Fluke and have a little picture of Fluke and just have his audio. That's a possibility as well. So if you want to be an audio only guest, we could potentially try that as well. We can experiment with all kinds of things. Now we are on this new channel, and we can experiment on this new channel. We can do interesting things on this new channel. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think there's lots of possibilities. All right, let's see. What did we want to do here? Now at this point, I guess we could try to go back into some news. We could try to see what's going on some of these websites and stuff. Transpose does release tomorrow. One thing I was checking, let me check this again. I was trying to check if Red Matter, remember Red Matter is coming to, Red Matter is, there's a Steam page for Red Matter, and it's supposed to release in November this month. We haven't seen a date yet. I wanted to double check on that. So let's go over here. So here is the Red Matter Steam page, Vertical Robot, November 2018. No new information. So we have hit November 5th. We don't have a date yet. Still looking forward to that, because I really want all of the hardcore HTC Vive players that just don't want to bother with Revive. They don't want to bother with kind of a janky translation, or they just don't want to pay for the game in an Oculus account. All of that is understandable. There's certain reasons, like there's legitimate reasons to want to buy your games on Steam rather than in an Oculus store, on the Oculus store. This is something that I'm dealing with myself personally, because let's see, I'm going to throw on some rando trailer here. How about Furious Seas? It's been a little while since we've thrown that on. But, and let's see where we're at here on the volume. So I'm keeping the volume basically at the same level, and then I'll see what happens later. So one of the questions I have for a lot of people out there now, some of you guys play your games on an Oculus Rift. I play my games on an Oculus Rift. That's where I play 99% of my stuff on an Oculus Rift. I do have a Go, I do have PlayStation VR, and I play stuff on there as well. But the thing is, normally you want to buy your game from the actual Oculus store because sometimes it runs a little bit better. And so sometimes you get a little bit better of, it just runs better for whatever reason. Sometimes on the Oculus store it runs better. But a downside of buying everything in the Oculus store is think 2 or 3 headsets from now. Think about, the year 2021. Are you going to want to use an Oculus account in 2021? You could be using an Apple VR headset. I mean, who knows? You could be using some kind of Google VR headset, and you don't want to try to use some kind of weird revive to get back into the Oculus store on your new whatever crazy headset you have. So there is a bit of this idea that buy all of your games on Steam so that whatever headset you go to in the future, Steam is likely to remain viable. And Steam is likely to work with all kinds of headsets going forward. So this is a question. It's a concern. Some people have to wonder about that. And that's why we're looking at some of these games like Red Matter and possibly getting them on Steam. And I mean, this could be a decision where somebody says, look, I don't want to buy games in an Oculus account. What if I don't end up with an Oculus headset 3 years from now? I don't want to have to jump through ridiculous hoops if I want to go revisit old games that I've had before. Of course, another question we can go to that piggybacks right off of this is, do you go back and play old games? For example, we're here in the year 2018. Do you go back and play games from 2016? Do you go back and play old games that maybe they were a big deal in 2016 or early 2017? Do you go back and revisit these games? Now, some people, they don't buy a lot of games. They buy maybe one game a month or one game every other month. And I think those people probably do revisit games quite often. Let me switch this trailer. I think those people may go back and revisit other games because of the fact that they don't have, I don't want to use that one, that's the wrong size. Hold on. We don't want to use a wrong size trailer today. You know what I need to do? I need to create a new folder that has only 1080p trailers and stick with those at first. Okay, so what I'm saying is, do we go back and play old games? And I was saying that if you don't buy a lot of games on a regular basis, maybe you do. But if you're anything like some of us fanatics out there, where we're buying 3 and 4 new games every single month, we're adding 3 and 4 new games. So we're creating this huge back catalog of games that we can work with. And we've got a lot of new games. Like if we just look at the last 4 or 5 months, we've got like 12 games we could play, 15 games that we could play over like the last 4 or 5 months. So will you go all the way back to 2016, all the way back to 2017? So maybe you don't care about revisiting old games, so maybe it's not a problem with future headsets. But it's something I think about in the back of my mind, something I've thought about. Okay, Paul Smith says, I've had way more issues with Oculus Store than Steam, with games not loading, updating, etc. See, I don't know. I've had pretty good success actually with the Oculus Store and with the games playing a little bit better in the Oculus Store. And it is nice to just open up your Oculus, you see the game, bam, you go right into it. There is a major convenience factor there. T-Dub says, I generally stick to Oculus Store unless Steam tempts me with a great price, but I agree regarding the Steam. So he probably agrees regarding just having that library that will work basically with any headset going forward, most likely. Chris Cox says, how often do you replay games though? I mean, yeah, that's kind of the question there. And then Fluke is responding to Paul Smith. He says, opposite for me. I'm at the point where Steam stuff only runs properly for me if I use Open Composite. I haven't tried that yet. But see, I used to have a lot of Steam problems, and this may have been more related to my 970 and to like my old i5 2500K and all of that. Might have been more related to all of that than it is anything with Steam. But I have these problems where occasionally I will download a game like the Project Cars 2 demo or like Serious Sam 3 when it was free over that free weekend. Like this is like, I don't know, 8 months ago when Serious Sam was free. I've downloaded a number of things and then had them on Steam, and they would just never work. They just never would work. And I would go to like repair corrupted files. I would try to go into the file itself and click on the .exe. You know, and I would try to do different things to get it up and running. And every once in a while, I would have stuff that just wouldn't work. And I haven't really had that situation with Oculus, to be honest. Chris Cox says, look, I just buy wherever the hell it is cheapest. That is a great idea as well. Chris Gould says, with Facebook's direction, I am getting really worried about my Oculus back catalog. I wonder if Facebook were to ever really move away from PC VR gaming, and where it was enough years where they had moved away from PC VR gaming, I wonder if they could do something to kind of unlock our software so that we could just play it without running the Oculus store or something. Maybe they could do something like that. I mean, that's always a possibility. And Rudel Zavednu says Oculus wants to lock you in its garden. Everybody wants you in their garden, though. Whether the garden is a walled garden or an open garden, it doesn't matter, because you know what? It's a psychological play, baby. It's all about psychology. It's all about your subconscious mind and these unconscious thoughts that we have about a library. And it's like the PlayStation 4. I make this argument with PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 has dominated. Like, if we talk about console gaming and we talk about, you know, Xbox One, and we talk about PlayStation 4, and we talk about Nintendo Switch, although Switch is kind of its own little white elephant thing. It's like off on its own in a way. But if we look at the console world, PlayStation has really, really dominated this generation. And there is a tremendous advantage when you dominate like this, because what happens is, if you get people into your ecosystem and you get people buying games into your ecosystem, it's an unconscious thing where you just want to have all your games under one umbrella. I can tell you, as somebody that has like 5 different accounts, like I've got like 3 different Oculus accounts. I've probably got like 4 different Steam accounts. I've got like 4 or 5 different PlayStation VR accounts. I've got European PlayStation VR accounts. I think I got like a Hong Kong account. I've got an American account. I've got an account for VR Game Rankings. We've got one for VR Roundtable. You know, I've got like 20 freaking different accounts that I'm bouncing around from, and it's a real major hassle. Because I'll be like, oh, what account was that game on? What account was that game? Okay, now I got to sign into this account. Let me remember the password to this account. Let me remember the password to that account. That is an irritant. And on an unconscious, subconscious level, we really want everything to just be in one place. We just want to go to one place and everything is there. We just see it, we hit a button, and bam, the game plays, and there's no fuss and there's no muss. And I think that is why, Anthony, with midlife account crisis, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's a lot of you that bounce between a lot of different accounts. I know Paradise knows what I'm talking about, because he's probably got a lot of different accounts going on for, you know, game review purposes. But what I'm trying to say here is, we want this one umbrella. And what I was going to say is, one of the reasons Steam gets a free pass, and I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of people, Steam and Valve can do no wrong. Steam and Valve could announce that they're making a nuclear bomb, and people will find a way to spin it in a positive direction. It's kind of like Nintendo, man. To a hardcore Nintendo fanboy, Nintendo can do no wrong. And for a lot of people, Steam and Valve can do no wrong. And I think a big part of it, Oh my God, Paradise only has one account. You lucky devil. I got a million of these things. But what I was going to say is, when you get used to years and years of having all your games in Steam, yeah, you kind of get irritated by all these other Origin, Uplay. You're like, oh hell no! I want everything in Steam. I want everything in this umbrella. This is my this is my ecosystem that I've clung to, and this is the ecosystem that has taken care of me. They have these crazy sales all the time. I'm practically collecting games that I never play, and so you really get wrapped up in Steam, and you'll defend it to the death, man, because you really love Steam. But yeah, it's an interesting discussion, all these accounts and everything. It's kind of crazy. Noel DBZ says, I don't like when I can't play a downloaded game if I'm not online. Yeah, there's always little weird things that happen. And then sometimes you go into a new account and it's like, oh, it needs an update or whatever. I used to remember these days where I wouldn't play my PlayStation for long stretches of time. I would turn on my PlayStation and it would have to go through this like 15-minute update process. It wouldn't even let me get into the game. And you have to go to the store and you have to download the new firmware, and it's going to turn off the PS4 and then it's going to turn it back on. And it's like 15 minutes later, it's like, now I don't even want to play the damn game anymore. I had this idea in my head. I wanted to immediately play the game. I turned on my PlayStation 4 and I got to go through this process. We've all dealt with that. It sucks. John Edwards says, hi, VR365. What is going on, John Edwards? Nice to have you. Nice to have everybody that has made the effort to come over here. That is really nice. Scorpion2 says, I keep them all in one place on my shelf. I can't do that with most VR games, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, that is... Well, yeah, there used to be this thing called ownership. There used to be this thing called physical media, and it still kind of exists. I've been running this trailer heck along. Let me get off this trailer. We got to get off that trailer. Let's go somewhere else. You know, one of the trailers I really like is that Trover trailer. Let me see if I can find the Trover trailer. I'm a big fan of Trover, although I got to keep the volume down because a lot of cuss words, I believe. Trover is a nice, colorful trailer, though. I'll turn it down a slight bit. Okay, yeah. Let's see. And then Paradise Decay at Scorpion 2. Have you seen my VR shelves? And Shirzad Khan City says, yeah, they must be pretty much empty. Rudel Zavedno says, yes, they milk your hard-earned cash well. I mean, all these different stores that everybody wants to make a buck, and everybody has seen what Apple has done, and everybody has seen what happens when, see, Apple, you want to talk about that unconscious psychological thing, it's such a powerful thing, man, especially with people that are like not really gamers and stuff, but they're just like, they have movies, they have songs and stuff. You get caught up in the Apple ecosystem, you are stuck for life. It is one of these things, man. It's a psychological thing, and that's why everybody wants you into their store, because they want that psychological unconscious thing going on with you. Paul Smith says, if Valve are making a nuke to fund Half-Life 3, then we will be cool with it. I'm telling you, people will find a way to spin it in the right way. They'll say, well, Valve, they've got to make a nuke because they've got to make a nuke so that Epic Games doesn't make a nuke. They'll spin it some way. John Edwards says, Blizzard just got slammed for Diablo Mobile. Maybe Valve just needs to announce that the next Half-Life will be a free-to-play mobile game developed by Tencent. Doubt that will be popular. And T-Dub says, weekly console updates are so annoying. Yeah, PlayStation VR is a bit irritating, because I will spend long stretches of time without playing my PSVR, and then I'll go into it and I will need a firmware update. It's a bit irritating. Okay, so we can get off of all of that nonsense about accounts and stuff. I actually, whoops, didn't mean to switch over to that. I actually have a couple of trailers. Whoops, what did I click on? I actually have a couple of trailers that I saw on Oculus on the Oculus YouTube channel, a couple of new things that I had never seen before, so we could play some of these things. Okay, so I have some stuff that is coming to like the Oculus. Oh, you know what? Actually, before we do that, why don't we check out the Déraciné launch day trailer, and we could also talk a little bit about Déraciné reviews afterwards. This is I think this is a new trailer. Let's check it out.
Have you ever heard of the fairies? Wondrous creatures who live in a world where time stands still. Good fairy, you're here, aren't you?
Whoa! Ah, sorry. What? The bookmark I had here is gone.
Fairy, kind fairy, can you hear me? If my voice travels to the place where time stands still, then please, won't you be friends with us? Please?
Okay, so that is the launch trailer for Déraciné. Yes, and Kev Gret says Déraciné, and I don't know if I'm mispronouncing this right. Déraciné, $30 for 3 hours. Click turning, node-based teleportation. That's a pass from me, dog. No, the phrase is that's a hard pass. It's a hard pass. It's like if you're like, nah, this game ain't gonna work for me, man. It's a hard pass. So Kev Gret is taking a hard pass on Déraciné. But you know what? The thing about this game is in this month of November, the truth is we don't have like a lot of heat that is coming in this month of November. Like there isn't like a really big mainstream release in the month of November. So I think Déraciné is probably one of the biggest releases. It comes out tomorrow. It is $29.99. I have heard it is about 3 hours to run through this. Now it's gotten some relatively decent reviews. For example, if we bounce over here, this is Upload VR, and they say that it is an essential VR oddity from the creator of Dark Souls. Positive. It is wholly unique in the VR space, connects you with characters in ways that only VR can, perfectly balanced puzzles that aren't too hard or too easy. Negatives. Okay, sometimes the puzzles just don't make any sense. Whimsical atmosphere certainly will not appeal to everyone. And you know what? I actually read pretty much this entire review that they broke down. And it's an interesting review because honestly, what it sounds like to me is there's going to be a lot of, this is a slow burn. Like you're not going to fall in love with Déraciné immediately. You're going to have to be tolerant to kind of the time frame and kind of its whimsical nature and the way people talk, and your actual agency in the game is kind of limited. It's $29.99. Shirzad Khan City says, how much is this game? $30. So it's $30. There's node-based movement. Basically, it's a node-based movement system. So you're kind of moving from one spot to another. This is from Software, and I think Japan Studio also collaborated with them a little bit on this. But I mean, you might want to go ahead and read this review that they have on Upload VR, because it definitely sounds like, basically, to break it down in a nutshell, This is a game that's going to be hard to kind of wrap your mind around and to really understand what the hell is going on. But apparently it's worth it. It's worth sticking with it because basically the key factor with this game is there's certain points in this game where apparently you feel like you really have this one-to-one personal interactivity with some of these characters in the same way that you do in Lone Echo with Olivia. And we all loved Lone Echo. We all loved that interpersonal relationship with Olivia. It was one of the most powerful things most of us have experienced in VR to date in terms of having like a real relationship with a video game character where it almost seems real and where you're almost like, wow, that is really unique. That's something that only VR is capable of. And at one point in this review, who did the review here? This is Jamie Feltham. At one point in this review, he compares it straight up to Lone Echo. In fact, I'll go ahead and read a little bit of it. As you begin to explore the deeper effects of your misadventures, which also includes the odd bit of time traveling by literally sucking the time out of other beings, Déraciné heads in directions that no other VR game has yet charted. This is a game that wants you to feel for its characters as if they were living, breathing flesh and blood right in front of you. It's a little too creaky to pull this off all of the time, but there are a handful of moments of incredibly concentrated connection between you and the students. At these points, the game establishes a bond between player and NPC just as strong as those seen in titles like Lone Echo. So you know, again, I'm kind of reading here directly from this article on Upload VR. So much love to Upload VR. Be sure to check them out and bounce over there. But reading that makes me think I want to play this. Like, I want to experience this interpersonal thing. And like further on in this article, they talk about it's something with the eyes. Like, the eyes are done pretty well. You'll be looking at some of these characters and you really feel like you're in a place with them and you kind of feel their emotions by just looking at their eyes. And that it doesn't work perfectly all of the time, but it works pretty good. So that is Déraciné. So I don't know. A lot of people might kind of pass on it. I don't know that I'm going to play this. I'm not sure. It's debatable whether or not I'm going to play this. I'm pretty sure I'm not getting a code, so I would have to I'd have to cough up my own money to try to get this. And it's a question because, you know, do I spend $30 on this or do I save that $30 to go towards my motherboard or who knows what? There's a million things to possibly buy, so it's always a question if I have to actually reach into my own pocket to grab it. Let's see what people are talking about here in chat. Twilight had no movement too. Yeah, that was node-based, Twilight Path, and it worked well in Twilight Path. I don't think that hurt it. Super Hot is node-based teleport. No one minds that. Yeah, I mean, you know, node-based teleportation, this may be more... this game may border more on an experience than a real game. I don't think there's a ton of agency in this game. I don't think you're going to be using a bow and an arrow in this game or a sword. You're not going to have a lot of active agency, and it's going to be a little bit more of a storytelling thing. But I do believe in this month of November, this may be the most AAA game that we get this entire month. So I do think it is something to keep our eyes on. And I think if we bounce over to the various subreddits, like if I go to the PSVR subreddit, there's a lot of people talking about this. I think there's a lot of reviews. Let me go ahead and switch over here to the PSVR subreddit. So they're talking about the Upload VR. I mean, they did give it an 8 out of 10. And Upload VR is weird. They are weird with their reviews because they will give an 8 out of 10 to this or that game. And then they'll like give a 5 out of 10 to a game that I think is quite awesome. I've seen some really weird reviews from Upload VR. Déraciné launch trailer. I was just trying to see if there's some more Déraciné review thread. Let's see if I click on this. I wonder if they have a breakdown. Okay, yeah, here we go. We got a breakdown. So Game Rant, 2.5 out of 5 stars. They're not really a fan of this. They say Déraciné is a bizarre, story-driven adventure game that mostly nails the story, but is oftentimes frustrating to play due to some unfortunate design choices. This Russian reviewer gave it an 8 out of 10. GameSpot gives it a 5 out of 10. Ugh. Déraciné's gorgeous presentation masks a game that's lacking innovative ideas while misusing the few it has done. So I guess this is a very polarizing kind of a game here. Gaming Bolt, 4 out of 10. That is not good. IGN Spain, 7.8 out of 10. So it kind of seems like this is one of these games, like I would probably get into this game and I'm either really going to like it or I'm probably just going to think it's not good, period, and it just doesn't hit me. Video Chums, 7 out of 10. I haven't heard of a lot of these places, but yeah, it really seems like it's all over the map. So that is Déraciné for PlayStation VR. So you know what? There are a couple of different trailers I do have, actually. I forgot about that Déraciné one, so I did want to go through that. Okay, so here's a game that is coming to Oculus Go and Gear VR. It is called Eclipse. I don't know anything about this, but we can check out this trailer real quick. Okay, oh, this is that Daydream game, right? So Eclipse, isn't this like the best game on the entire Google Daydream platform? This is like the one game that they had on Daydream that you would actually be like, damn, I wish we had that game on like the Go or Gear VR or something like that. So this is actually a pretty big game, right? Has anybody played this on any kind of like Google Daydream supported device? Do you think this is possibly a must buy for somebody with an Oculus Go? You know, I mean, Oculus Go is a cool platform. I like it. I've had a lot of fun with my Oculus Go. It's so underrated in my opinion. It's kind of an afterthought now that we have Quest coming next spring. It seems like the Go is just kind of being swept under the rug. But I'm kind of mildly interested in this. This might be a game I might want to check out because I'm pretty sure this is the one I was thinking about where it's one of the best Daydream games, period, and now it's coming to like Go and Gear VR and all of that. So maybe one to take a look at. So that is Eclipse. Let's see, I have a couple of other little trailers to go into. Now these are 720p, so I'm gonna have to resize it. Oh, here's something kind of weird. Now this kind of reminds me of Mayubi, because this is like a 360 video kind of type experience with real life actors, but I don't know if it's like, I don't know, let's just check it out. It's called Dinner Party. It's by Within, and it looks really kind of weird. Let me resize this. This is pretty trippy. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a date.
It's our first date, Rockingham County Jail. All right, let's see.
Betty, you okay?
They followed us. You said you got rid of that.
Of course, following us.
My gun.
What?
My gun, get my gun.
What's happening?
Okay, so that is Dinner Party, and it is available on Within. It looks pretty trippy, looks pretty interesting. This is the type of shit, yeah, Noel DBC says, what's this? Looks good. I agree. This is kind of like just the way it looks kind of transference-ish. You know, just the 3D nature of how it looks. I could imagine this being really impressive in a VR headset. So this is something I'm kind of actually legitimately interested in. However, I'm not sure exactly how I experience it. Do I have to pay money for this? So let's see, Within dinner party. So I'm guessing you got to use like the Within app on like a Rift or a Vive or whatever. Within dinner party. I'm trying to find out more information about it. Let's see. Let me put VR in the search. And Martino Movie says the resolution on Within is not good though. You know, I wonder if we could play, if you could just use this on a Go. I think you can. You could play this on a Rift, a Go, and Gear. So I guess it's kind of exclusive to Oculus. There is a website, Dinner Party. Okay, let me switch over to this website. So here's the website here. Learn more, Dinner Party VR. It's going to this Engadget article. Dinner Party relives an interracial couple's alien abduction. Oh, that's kind of cool. Alien abduction, kind of like Betty and Barney Hill. That's interesting. The Zeta Retic. I love like alien stuff. I've always been into like aliens, abductions, and all that. I've always thought it'd be cool to have like a weird alien abduction kind of thing. But it was filmed with these, you know, different cameras and stuff. So this is something I'd like to check out. It's based on the true story of Betty and Barney Hill, an alien abduction in VR. I just wonder how exactly do we experience this. I guess I just go to Oculus and you get the Within app and you could probably try it out. I don't know if you have to pay money for it, but that looks like something I would like to try. Yeah, Martino Movie says Within is on the go as well. And Prince Alexander says, like Night Trap. He says full motion video games from the 90s. Dude, Prince Alexander, if you want to try some stuff like that, some stuff that is very, very Night Trap-ish and full motion video is Amaze 3D. Amaze 3D on the Oculus Go is very much like this because Amaze 3D, they have these different little like interactive dates that you can go on that almost borderline pornography. It's almost borderline pornography, but they have these little dates that you go on and you'll get to these certain parts in the date where you have to make a decision so you'll use your little Oculus remote and you'll say, okay, I'm going to say this to the girl, I'm going to say that to the girl, and then based on what you say, like it sometimes ends the game and the game is over, or you advance and you go to the next scene. It's straight up full motion video, man. It's basically those old Sega CD games. It's a pretty interesting thing. There's also one where it's a murder mystery. I'm telling you guys, check out Amaze 3D. There was a murder mystery one that I thought was pretty good as well. The acting leaves a ton to be desired. The acting is pretty freaking awful, but it's basically a choose your own adventure type stuff. And Martino Movie says Amaze 3D resolution on the go is much better than on Within. Yeah, I've always been very impressed with a lot of the Amaze 3D resolution. Very good, to be sure. And let's see. Yeah, I was trying to check back to see if any. Oh, Fire in the Sky in VR would be cool. Yeah, Logan68. I love Fire in the Sky. Shirzad Khan City says, notice Anthony knows quite a bit about prawn. No, I honestly don't know very much about prawn, and I've actually tried very little prawn on any kind of VR headsets. I actually haven't tried much of it. I tried some of it when I first got VR to see like the technology of it, man. I got a report on the technology of it. Wasn't all that impressed with it. So I am not into prawn in VR. I'll be honest and tell you the straight up truth. And Noel DBZ says Within is free at the Oculus store. Well, the app is free, but when you get in there, do they have like is it like a subscription thing where you like pay, or is it like just a bunch of free experiences? But anyway, I want to try this. This looks cool. I think it looks interesting. I want to try it. Yeah, prawn for science. It's prawn for science. That's what it's all about. All right, guys. Well, you know what? We have been going over an hour now. So I think we're going to go ahead and check out of here. And guess what? I have no outro. No outro of any kind to play. And I don't want to play my other outro. So basically, it's going to be a hard out. You know, what am I going to do here? I don't have an outro. I guess what I could do is just put on, I could go to my game trailer window here and just put on my logo or something. Let's see here if I can find it. Let's go to all files. Yeah, I could just put this on in the background and say thanks for watching. Of course, I will have to resize it because all of that was set to 720p. So yeah, we need an intro, outro. I need to continue to do some stuff here. But yeah, that is going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode uno. Episode number 1 of VR365. Yeah, we're starting over, man. I got to 250 episodes, and now I am starting over from scratch. This is episode 1. Maybe not the best episode so far. And Shirzad Khan City says, no outro. F that, bro. I am unsubscribing. Noel DBZ says, good first VR365 show. Well, I kind of had to wing it. Not a lot of news stories and stuff, but I think there's always interesting discussion that can be had. We kind of talked about the whole account thing, buying games and thinking about future headsets. So I think there was some interesting discussion there. So of course we will be back tomorrow at the new bat channel, same bat time, VR365, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And now I got to figure out what are my thumbnails going to look like. I have no idea what the hell my thumbnails are going to look like for VR365. I got to start working on that. So we'll go ahead and do that. And once again, everybody in chat, remember, if you want to be interviewed on this show in a new special segment, interviewing VR gamers, I don't know what the hell I'm going to call it, but we're going to do it. And if you're interested, shoot me an email, info@vrgamerankings.com. You're probably going to need Skype, and we will be looking into that over the next couple of weeks. We can meet some of you guys in person on here and kind of get some background for some of the VR gamers that show up in chat on a regular basis. Phil Yarn, imagine Phil Yarn on our screens in full motion video. Paradise Decay, Fluke, T-Dub, Lethal Weasel, Paul Smith, Hussein X, all kinds of people could come on. We could see what you guys look like. Or if you don't want to show your face, we could maybe do some audio only stuff as well. So there's lots of possibilities. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. That has been episode 1, and I made it through. I've survived. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.